Beneath the dry, deciduous canopy of western India's Saurashtra Peninsula lies the Gir forest. It is a severely desiccated, intensely hot landscape. It is also the absolute final, exclusive refuge on Earth for the Asiatic lion. A century ago, the Asiatic lion was nearly extinct. 19th century British trophy hunting reduced the global population to a microscopic remnant of roughly 20 to 50 individuals, huddled entirely within these specific hunting grounds. They survived because of the Nawabs of Junagadh. Recognizing the mathematical reality of impending extinction, the rulers issued strict decrees banning all unauthorized hunting, directly confronting the habits of high-ranking colonial officials who viewed the lions as prestigious targets. That early protection seeded a massive numerical recovery. Today, the Gir ecosystem supports nearly 900 lions. They have multiplied to the point of overpopulation, spilling out of the core sanctuary to claim a 35,000 square kilometer territory across 11 districts. While this massive geographic expansion looks like a permanent victory, the security of the species is tethered to a biological reality raw numbers cannot fix. When a population collapses to 20 animals, the survivors have no choice but to breed with close relatives. A century of inescapable inbreeding has resulted in genetic monomorphism, a state where every Asiatic lion alive today is functionally a genetic clone. We can see the severity of this bottleneck on this chart comparing genetic variation. Free-ranging African lions in the Serengeti exhibit a polymorphism rate of about 11%. But for the Gir lions, that figure sits precisely at 0. When every single immune system shares the exact same architecture, a single microscopic pathogen becomes a population-wide threat. If a virus like camarine distemper bypasses the immune response of one lion, it encounters the same vulnerability in every other member of the species. Without genetic variability to provide a natural firewall, the entire population is exposed at once. This creates a deep ecological paradox. If their genetics are so compromised, how did the Asiatic lion manage to multiply so rapidly over the last few decades? The answer relies on a specific human element. The Gir forest is not an untouched wilderness. It is intertwined with the Maldharis, a traditional pastoral community living inside these boundaries for a century. The Maldharis maintain specialized herds of indigenous livestock, primarily heavy Jafrabadi buffalo and Gir cattle. By grazing freely within the nutrient-rich forest, the Maldharis reduce their rearing costs by over 58%, keeping their profit margins high even while operating inside an apex predator's territory. This chart of the Asiatic lion's diet reveals a surprising dependency. Lions extract 42% of their biomass from livestock. Crucially, 84% is opportunistically scavenged. These free calories artificially inflate the landscape's carrying capacity, supporting growth beyond what wild prey could sustain. But an artificial food supply cannot mask biological debt forever. The consequences of the genetic bottleneck are manifesting directly inside the lion's reproductive systems. This bar chart reveals a physiological deficit. Ngorongoro crater lions produce 236 million motile sperm per ejaculate, while inbred Asiatic lions produce just 45 million. Beyond low counts, Asiatic lions exhibit widespread structural deformities, like missing sheaths, bent flagella, and enlarged heads. To fight this failure, the lionesses have adopted a specific behavioral strategy. They routinely mate with multiple male coalitions. By maximizing sperm competition inside the reproductive tract, they squeeze every possible drop of viability out of their limited genetic pool. They are surviving on borrowed time, pushing the absolute limits of their physiology right as they are running out of physical space in Gujarat. The only way to secure a genetically uniform species is geographic diversification. You must create an isolated physical backup population to ensure a single regional disaster or epidemic cannot cause total extinction. Decades ago, scientists selected the Kuno-Palpur wildlife sanctuary in Madhya Pradesh as this backup site. The local government successfully relocated 24 human villages, creating hundreds of square kilometers of habitat explicitly for the lions, but the state of Gujarat opposed the move. Viewing the Asiatic lion as an exclusive state heritage symbol and a lucrative tourism monopoly, The state utilized every administrative tool available to block the transfer of even a single animal. The dispute reached the Supreme Court of India. In 2013, the court dismissed the state's arguments of regional pride and issued a directive ordering the transfer of the lions within a 6-month timeframe. Yet political resistance outlasted the legal mandate. Nearly a decade after the ruling, the project remained paralyzed by bureaucratic inertia. The maneuvering culminated in 2022 when the central government bypassed the lion project entirely. The Kuno habitat, painstakingly prepared for lions, was used instead to import African cheetahs, placing the lion translocation on indefinite hold. Gujarat has instead pivoted to Project Lion, a massive, heavily funded effort to restore its own Barda wildlife sanctuary. By clearing invasive brush and artificially augmented the prey base, the state successfully recolonized Barda in 2025. This inward strategy addresses overcrowding, but it ignores the core biological threat. Moving lions 50 miles down the road into another sanctuary inside the same region fails to provide the geographic isolation required to survive a contagious epidemic. The Asiatic lion was saved from the industrialized weapon.